Kimmy, you have been reporting on violence against Asian Americans before this, and now you have this, which is the biggest story of its kind so far.
Right. Lawrence, this has been, I have to say, I myself am kind of processing everything as it's going along. And even so many of us who are, reporting on a lot of these attacks and violence every single day, I think, are having a little bit of trouble wrapping our minds around what we're seeing because it's just so heinous. You know, Yesterday I published a piece about this report that came out that mentioned over the course of roughly 12 months in the pandemic, there were about 3,800 incidents um, that targeting Asian Americans, having to do with the pandemic racism and kind of that racist tie between Asian Americans and the virus. And in that report, it was mentioned that about 68% of respondents were Asian women. And, a far lower share, it was around 29% were men. And experts say that a lot of the stereotypes surrounding Asian women that were docile, were meek, that were subservient, really plays into it because it makes Asian women appear like we are easier or more vulnerable targets. And right now, I think not a ton of information has come out about uh, the suspect and what his true motivations were. I know that he mentioned that, um, you know, there was no racial motivation, but given how Asian women are hyper fetishized and sexualized in this country and the specific type of racialized sexism that we deal with, it is very difficult to divorce race from this conversation. I think that, we can look back to history and as early as, our initial entry in this country to see where this came from. The one of the first exclusionary laws, the Page Act, actually barred Asian women, from coming into the country on grounds that they were deemed, morally corrupt. And I think a lot of these stereotypes that we're sexually deviant, that we are, you know, uh, geishas or these like sly dragon ladies, they still persist to this day, and that can't be ignored in this conversation.
Amanda, I saw you nodding there. Go ahead.
No, I couldn't agree more. And right now, people need to understand that there's so much pain. I think a lot of people are asking, especially as allies, what can I do? Some may feel like they don't know the right thing to say. Others may be worried about how they can best be there. And what I want to say is it is as simple as just reaching out to your friends, your AAPI friends, and saying, hey, I'm here for you. I don't pretend to understand what is going on, and I can't begin to understand how you may feel, but I want to learn. So please know that I'm there for you. And please let me know how I can be there for you. Right? I think it's as simple as that, because at the core of the issue of what we are seeing is systematic oppression in the form of systematic erasure. What I mean by this is that in not only the mainstream media, but also in our education system, our workforce, our government, the AAPI narrative has been erased. In 2009, there was a study that showed that in some federal agencies, AAPIs aren't even recorded under the definition of racial minorities. Our stories aren't told, and stories are empathy machines. It is incredibly critical at this point that people begin to understand and include AAPIs within their framework of what it means to be an American.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.